I thought I'd never see. And then, one day, I got in.
It's starting to feel like we are back, guys. Like we made it through the bear market. And the really positive thing that I was thinking about is now that we're back, we've gotten rid of all of the scam artists, all of the grifters, and all of the bad actors got washed out of the space. And here we are with a fresh start to get ready for the next halving and the next bull market. So give yourself a round of applause for making it this far. It is not easy if you've never experienced a crypto bear market. Well, there you go. Most likely, right? Of course, we never know, but I think the worst of it is probably over. Today I noticed lots of coins getting some volume, low caps, mid caps, high caps, people getting some confidence back, and we're starting to see some green candles returning to this market. Hope you guys enjoyed that intro. That is the grid. That was sort of a celebration clip I wanted to make to give the feeling of optimism that I felt yesterday as I watched the charts. And today I woke up and it felt like a whole new reality. So we've had a lot of fun on Twitter. Yesterday was a bit of a celebration. Of course, you never really know how things are going to turn out, but I think a lot of people needed that. A lot of people needed that return to optimism that we've seen. And so yesterday, after I did my celebration and after I had a good old time, I asked myself, okay, what are the next hurdles here? What are the next sort of challenges that I see on the chart? And one of the things that I saw was this, the Bitcoin daily chart. Bitcoin is currently sitting at the previous upward sloping trend line as the new resistance, actually. So this zone that we just touched was actually perfectly in line with our previous support line as new resistance. So that is a big question mark now. What is going to happen here? Are we just going to punch straight through it? Or what's usually more likely is a little bit of sideways action, a little bit of consolidation, maybe even a retest of the breakout zone, right? I mean, as a analyst, if you've watched the market enough, it's pretty easy to become a skeptical person. And so at this point, it is quite possible that Bitcoin would be looking for maybe a retest of the breakout, looks to consolidate a little bit more before maybe continuing that upward move, right? So something along these lines would not be a shocker at all. And as you know, a lot of the people on social media, a lot of people on Twitter, whatever, they're pretty skittish and flimsy, right? Like their emotions are really easily affected. So if Bitcoin came down to that breakout zone, people would be saying it's over, but really it would just lead to a consolidation and probably a continued push up. As long as we are above this resistance, this breakout zone, I mean, things are looking pretty good. Even if Bitcoin comes down to just below 32,000 and gets a bounce off that level and hold that with higher lows, that is what I consider constructive price action. It is constructing an upward trend. It is a higher low with a higher high that is building, constructive. And that is the kind of price action that you want to see, right? Bitcoin coming back here and breaking below that zone would be destructive, right? It would be destroying the breakout zone. So we want to see that constructive price action, and a move like this, guys, just some sort of wiggle room, a little bit of action up and down before breaking out again is really normal, right? That is all very normal stuff for Bitcoin. Nothing really goes up in a straight line forever. So seeing something along these lines would be really, really bullish, right? Generally speaking. Something else I noticed that I thought was a really good thing was that the S&P 500 is starting to bounce at least up a little bit today. So Bitcoin has decoupled from the stock market just ever so slightly in the past week, right? Usually it's somewhat in line, but now over the past week, we've seen a decoupling where Bitcoin's moving up, stock market was moving down. Now the S&P is finding some support. And many months ago, right when we broke down off this level here, our target was 4,200. And we've actually hit that exact target that we set, back in, what was it? End of July, August 1st, I think the video was that I put out on the channel on August 1st. We actually talked about a move down to 4,200 before getting some support. So if the S&P bounces here, that's going to provide extra confidence because, guys, if the S&P, let's say dumps like this over the next week, that's not going to be good for Bitcoin. There will be a lot of bear speculators that step in as a result, but we've had the correction for the S&P, and it looks like the S&P is finding some support, and if we do bounce, that's going to be extra good for Bitcoin, and that's going to likely lead to this next move up. Now, I want to remind you guys of the magical Fibonacci extension that we called way early in the year, like really early in this year. We were talking about fibbing from the FTX collapse zone. And this is still potentially valid. If you fib from the pre-FTX collapse to the FTX collapse low point, and you just fib from there to there, right? From this high to this low right here, all the way down to here. What's pretty incredible is that, guess what? The first move that we made up was a direct hit on the 1618 Fibonacci. The next move we made up was almost a direct hit on the 2618 Fibonacci line. And the next move up after that, well, we haven't reached it yet, but that is coming in at about 37,230, roughly. About 37,200, 37,300, the 3618. So if we do, let's say, even get some volatility down to retest the breakout and then continue up and push, I'm looking for that 3618, guys, from the FTX pre-collapse, post-collapse, fib from there to there. We are looking for the 3618 just above 37,000 at 37,200 to 37,300 is the next target zone. So if you missed this move for Bitcoin, a lot of people are probably going to ask me, Kev, what do I do? I thought we were going to go to 10K because some random guy on Twitter said so. What do I do? Well, as any good trader would do, they would wait for a retest of a breakout. So if there's a major breakout, you wait for a retest, such as back here when Bitcoin breaks out of this level. Any good trader would have waited for that retest before going long, which they, got some gains off of, right? You break above this high, you could have waited for that retest right there, right? So even, a lot of times when you think you missed it, you really didn't because the price ends up coming back to the breakout zone, right? There's usually the market's going sideways more than anything. So if the price ends up looking to retest back to the breakout zone, right, coming down to like just below 32,000, 31,500, you'd look for a long entry upon seeing support, and then you look to ride that to the next fib target at 37,200, 37,300, and maybe as high as the 4236 at 41,000, just below 41,000. That would be the next Fibonacci zone. Now, again, let me remove this rectangle, and just to remind you that so far these fibs have been, kind of like magical targets. Let me just change the color here to yellow and just line it up so you guys can see. So far, we've been really just hitting these fibs with absolute precision, and the next one comes in right there. And then if things get really bullish, maybe we'd be looking for something up here. And then after that, we'd probably see some further consolidation, most likely depending on what happens with the ETF, who knows? But those are your targets above you right now. So keep those in mind. Those can be your sort of guide for the next move. But just wanted to hop on here, give you guys a quick fun video, give you guys some targets to look at, give you guys some ideas on how you could enter this market if you haven't already, and some fun memes, etc. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like the video, subscribe to this channel, and also be sure to join Patreon. There will not be that many slots left at this price. This is a record low discount. Join Patreon if you want to see extra content, altcoin picks, all that kind of thing. And I'll see you all in the next video.